Hello and welcome to Cutter Farms. We're here with an episode of Flint Hills by JS Mapping, and this is our precision farming playthrough. So we're going to be taking a look at all of our fields and getting the soil maps uncovered for the fields that we own today, and getting started in on some of our spring work and, just generally setting up a season's episode. There's always a lot to do. But as we get started here, I wanted to take a quick look at something that came up with a lot of questions around the fact that the mini-map isn't zooming in and showing me the circle when I'm using different pieces of equipment. And I haven't had that problem. I've had a few people tell me that it doesn't work if you hook it up to anything but the gator that came with the pack, and that's definitely not the case. You do need to unfold it first. So if you push X, it should automatically zoom in the minimap and show the circle as soon as you have the device unfolded. And then if we just go ahead and drop that off, I've got the new gator from Black Sheep Modding here installed. And so I thought this would be a fun opportunity to give this thing a try and do a little bit of our... Oh, we just backed right over this. Give a little bit of soil sampling a try here. And this thing sounds amazing. I love how this gator sounds. Unfortunately, it is super slow, 15 miles an hour. I thought that the Precision Farming DLC was going to be a problem, but this gator being this slow is definitely going to slow us down a bit. So I'm going to take a couple of soil samples here right by the farm just to see how this is going to work out for us. Everything seems to be working with the gator here. No major issues. In fact, I can look this up, but as you can see, kind of getting from one spot to the next in this field is definitely going to take a while. And so we're going to just take another soil sample here real quick, and then we're going to look at the map here. So as you can see, this is going to take a fair amount of time to do all of these fields. I do want to do the area right around the farm here real quick, just to finish trying this out. I really like this this little gator. I just wish it was faster. I guess we're gonna have to go in and maybe bump this up. I don't know that having it go 80 miles an hour would be very realistic, but I wouldn't mind getting it up to 30 at least. We did do a little bit of the landscaping here around the pig barn. I didn't want to have this be too steep, and so that's why there's a little bit of ground that's plowed here that looks different than some of the other areas around the farm or in this field, just because we had to place everything and level the ground and then smooth everything back out. It's always deceptive to me to see how much terrain height difference there is. I mean, when you look across this field at a glance, it feels like it's fairly flat, but in reality, this is probably a good 5-6 foot drop between where I've got the bins setting and this low point down here. So pretty impressive to see the terrain differences in some of these fields, even on flatter fields like this Flint Hills, Iowa map. I mean, the ground in this area is fairly flat from my experience. I guess, I spent a little bit of time in northern Iowa, and compared to some of the areas I was in even southern Minnesota, Iowa's quite a bit flatter in general. So I'm just going to finish kind of going around the farm here, I think. We've already got 6 samples taken. We'll get up to, probably 8 here. And then I'm going to fast forward and do a bit of this off camera and get us caught up on taking all of our soil samples, I think. And for anybody that's interested, I have put out a tutorial on how the soil sampling mechanics work, as well as how to increase the radius of the soil samples. So this is a 4x map, so I have increased the radius of my soil samples significantly compared to what was in the mod by default. I think I more than doubled my radius. And so you could go, you know, completely unrealistic and really up the sample size here to cover the whole map. But there's also dev commands that you can just uncover certain areas and not have to go through the effort if you don't want to as well. So there are options out there, at least on PC, for players who are looking to make this part of the process a little bit easier. So with that, I've taken 12 samples. We covered the area around the farm, went down to the corner here. So at this point, I think we're going to just jump ahead and finish taking the samples across our field here. All right, so we got all of our fields uncovered here and our soil samples came back. It doesn't take very long. And we can now see the sand types that we have, which are primarily loam, which is, you know, pretty good. Silty clay, not the best, but not the worst. And then sandy loam, which is equal to base game soil types. So we've only got just little spots of this loamy sand type, which is really not that great. So I'm pretty excited about this. And so we're going to be able to now take a look at our nitrogen levels, which are pretty low, and our pH levels, which are kind of in the middle. So we're going to be in a decent spot, I think, to get into setting up for planting this year. I think we are going to skip the lime this year, since we do have some pretty middle of the road numbers there. And I would like to kind of do a compare and contrast year over year to see how the fields perform with and without lime as kind of a longer term experiment here for precision farming. So we're going to leave the lime as it is right now. I'm going to close our garage doors here. And I think we're going to jump into some tillage. We've got a few fields that didn't get plowed up very well in the previous year. And so luckily it's not our big field, but I think the goal here will be to knock out some of that tillage, get things kind of chopped up, mixed up a bit, and then we can follow up and do some other field prep before we get into planting. And so we're going to go ahead and get the 8960 out because I've just been absolutely excited to give this thing a try. It's got some great startup sounds there. And so this is a new mod by Sid Modding, recently released on the in-game mod hub. We've got our Great Plains turbo chisel here that we're going to be able to use. And I think these two combined should provide for some good tillage experience. We're going to go ahead and run down to the end of the road here and plow our smallest field in first. And so this turbo chisel should do a pretty good job of cutting up some of the crop residue with the discs in the front, removing a little bit of that compaction, and then we've got the rollers there to also help both chop up some of that residue and kind of spread things back out. So I'm sure there's an official driveway for this field somewhere, but this ditch is low enough here that I think we're going to just bounce across here and get into this field. The traffic's been a little bit crazy on this map so far, and by crazy, I mean that it's behaving normally like I would expect traffic to behave, in that the cars actually drive at normal road speeds, but they don't stop so well for agricultural vehicles. So I have definitely gotten smashed a few times trying to get into position, pull into a driveway, etc. So we are going to be leveraging Courseplay in this series to help us out a little bit because the fields are so large. And so we're going to go ahead and set this up to work at a bit of an angle. We're going to be doing our long rows first and then coming back and hitting the headlands at the end, because that is how I would typically expect to do this in real life. And so I did set up for 4 headland passes just because there are quite a few of them that we're going to need to handle. And I'm trying to figure out why he's doing what he's doing. He seemed to put that down a little bit early on the turn there. That said, he seems to be figuring himself out here, so hopefully these 4 passes are going to make sense. But why is he not lifting up his implement when he turns around is my question. That seems like a bit of a miss. Yeah, something is definitely going wonky here with Courseplay. I think he just feels like the headland is going to come and overlap there at some point, so he's leaving it open. Perhaps 4 was too many headlands. I don't know why he puts his implement back down so early while turning back around. Probably something to do with the articulated vehicle. I would expect when he lifts up there that that would be the end of it. I've probably got too many headland passes. So if we just look one more time at this. I probably could have lived with 2, so we'll keep that in mind for the next field here. But with that, let's knock out some acres.
Heading back to what used to be home, passing by those little towns I know so well, stopping for gas and then I'm behind the wheel again. Driving this like a spiritual cleanse, where every mile is a new beginning and every bend holds a new end. Eyes on the road, don't lose control. I'm speeding fast to chase my soul. I'm driving to get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day. The neon lights in the fast lane life, riding high, reaching for the sky. I had it all but lost and fell back down again. Spent my time playing the game where every single day was a losing battle and every drink was a dead end. Eyes on the goal, don't lose control. I'm living fast, I've lost my soul. I'm driving to get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day. How did I get caught? The walls are caving in. How come I got lost in this endless spin? Why do I feel so empty deep within? Where did I go wrong? Eyes on the goal, don't lose control. I'm living fast, I lost my soul. I'm driving to get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day. Eyes on the road, don't lose control. I'm speeding fast to chase my soul. I'm driving to get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting feel better every day. The troubles I had have been washed away. I'm cleaning up my act and moving on. In the silence of my room, I'll sleep all night and get up at noon. There's nothing to distract me in my dreams. Like a pillow on my face, no one can hurt or invade my space. I still walk the streets with my head high. And though I wonder where I'd be if no one had helped or remembered me, I know my own will has got me through. I know why I should try to find out why I feel so high. There's a comfort to be found when you find out there's no one else around to set your mind off track and lead you on. And though I wonder what I'd do if you hadn't told me to see it through, I know I could make it without you. I know I should try to find out why I feel so high. Coming up again to get a breath of air. In the water, everything is fine. And I will stay in here until the day is through. For a while, I like to feel the buzzing in my head. I know why I should try to find out why I feel so high.
So we're on the final pass of our headlands here. This field is a little bit bigger than it initially looked. I think that's always the deception with 4X maps or larger maps, is it's one of the smaller fields in the map in general. I mean, it's, not that big. I mean, there's some smaller fields, but all things considered, it's pretty big. 12 hectares is what, probably close to 30 acres. So by farm sim standards, this is a decent sized field. Realistically, not that big of a field in real life, but still decent sized field. This, of course, we're gonna crash in our final few moments here. Courseplay, you had to let me down. This 8960 is doing a great job with this tillage equipment. The Great Plains Turbo Chisel here is doing pretty good. I think we're gonna need to get ourselves a little bit more tillage equipment though as we keep going. Luckily we don't have to plow that large field this time, but that could be quite the activity if we were trying to do that with a single piece of tillage. Whoops, we selected the wrong option here. But luckily the newest version of Courseplay seems to be working pretty good. There's a little bit of oddity when turning around. I don't know if that's due to using an articulated tractor, or if that's something with this piece of tillage or the latest version of Courseplay. But there have been new versions of Courseplay, it feels like every day or every other day lately. So Trying to keep up with those changes. I'm sure things that are broke today will be working tomorrow, so I'm going to just keep updating to the latest version of that. And also, as we continue to experiment with some of the things in precision farming, I'm sure we're going to run into some issues and things that we need to sort out, or just things that don't work quite the same that they used to in series past. So that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to with this series, is just getting to try some new things out. But as I was saying, we are going to need to pick up some more tillage equipment, I think. So maybe that's something we're going to look into for next episode, is picking up some more tillage equipment and being able to knock out the rest of our acres here. Because if we look at the map, just looking at field 25 and 26, if this field took me approximately an hour to knock out, these fields are probably going to take quite a bit longer than that. I'd say field 26 is probably going to take the same amount of time as this one, but this other field is quite a bit bigger, so we might need to get a couple more pieces of equipment here. I always try to start out with what I think I'm going to need in a series, but yeah, I've clearly underestimated the size of these fields. With that, we are carrying a significant loan here. I don't know if I talked about this in the previous episode, but given how much property we have, we're able to take out a lot of loan, and with seasons, I can actually go up beyond that. I think I can go up to almost $2 million in loans, and so we're gonna see how that kind of plays out here. I have no idea where this guy thinks he's going. Nope, he's done. And so we're going to just take up these little corner pieces here that we missed. So we're going to carry that loan through. I'm kind of curious to see how that goes in seasons, what our daily interest rate is going to be on $1.5 million. But we'll find that out likely in next episode. Oh, there's a bit of a dip there that I missed. And so I think for now, we're going to just park this guy here. This is going to be probably the next field that I try to tackle, though I want to tackle this with two pieces of equipment at the same time and kind of test that out. So we'll dive into this next episode. That's all for today. Kedurk, out.